Hey y'all, it is a cool February morning here on the farm and we're getting ready to saw some logs. I primarily operate this sawmill during the winter time when we're not as busy on the farm. I got a lot going on with peas and produce during the summer, so we saw very little, if ever, during the summer. But January, February, sawmills usually do a little bit of running around here. I'll cut a flat side on all four faces so that it's square, and then I'll start sawing boards out of it. I've created two beams now that are 6 inches this way. So I go flip them up on end, and I also saw 6-inch wide boards, 1 inch thick now. This particular machine is equipped with simple set, so I'm going to tell it. I want my boards 1.8 inch, let's take it out, 1 inch, and now all I gotta do is hit the up down button and it'll exactly go down 1 inch increments for each pass, so all my boards are the same thickness. This is what I'm sawing today. It is actually called Beetle kill pine. It's slash and loblolly pine trees grown out here in Georgia that the beetles kill. Beetles are a rampant problem that from year to year, kill a lot of pine trees down here. But the lumber industry, the hardwood flooring industry, calls this lightning struck pine, because it's a lot easier to sell you some hardwood floors that's been lightning struck than it is to sell you those same floors and say some bugs killed these trees. But that's what it is. These are beetle killed pine trees, and once the trees have been killed by the beetles, they still remain standing. They don't just die and fall over. They remain standing. They keep the bark on them usually pretty good. But as a little bit of time goes by, a fungal growth happens at a internal level, like a cellular level, and you get this blue staining inside the tree. And that is what makes it, that is what is indicative of lightning struck or beetle kill pine. It will always have this blue staining in it. Looks really cool. It's really beautiful. The lumber industry will kick it out. They don't want it. But the hardwood floor industry will charge you a lot more for it because it's lightning struck. Has those awesome blue streaks all in it. When I'm sawing these logs, I'm not just throwing them up there, cutting on the blade and shooting to the end. It's a lot of meticulous details you have to pay close attention to. For example, tree trunks are not round. You know, everybody says, oh, a tree trunk's round. Bull crap. Trees are not round. Good example right here. Flat side, large flat side. And so I'm trying to get boards out of it, and the way I make this mostly round or round-ish object into square boards, I have to make it first into 4 flat faces. And so what I do is look at the natural curve of the log. I see I already have a close to a flat face here and close to a flat face here. So I wouldn't want this log orientated a little bit different while I was cutting off those hard corners. I want to use the flat surfaces I already have so I don't waste much wood. I get the most boards possible out of this log. And so it's very important to start with the log in just the right position to get it spinned or spunt just right, so that you're starting cutting on the most flat faces possible, not turning your flat faces cattywampus and then starting. You just be wasting a bunch of wood on the corners. Now, some hardwood varieties I cut are closer to round. Poplar, tulip poplars, really round. Sweet gum is pretty close to round. But these pine trees, you'd be surprised how many pine trees are square. They don't look square standing up, but when you lay them on this table, these boys got a flat side and another flat side, and almost, they're just about square once you cut them down and lay them on the table and look at them really closely. I've saved this log for last. This portion of this log comes from higher up the tree, and so since it's higher up the tree, far away from the ground, it is close to round. It's those parts closer to the ground, closer to buttress, they're way out of round. But this one's really close to round, being that it's high up in the tree. But the issue we're going to have with this one is, because it's high up in the tree, it's covered in limbs. And since it's covered in limbs, when it hits that sawmill table, it's going to be covered in knots. All those limbs represent a knot. And this blade right here, it is really not going to enjoy going through those knots. It's going to hit them and it's going to, that board's going to be wavy and crooked, and everybody's going to be mad, and it's going to be ugly. But we're going to get this square log cut, then we'll get on that knotty log last, and we'll be done for the day. That's going to be a good place to stop with that old knotty. You hear how that engine is missing, skipping, ain't running right? This sawmill's done this ever since it was new. That Kohler engine, once it gets good and warm, I've been sawing logs for a little while, and it's done got everything warmed up, it goes to skipping and missing. I've contacted Wood Mizer multiple times with over an hour phone call conversation every time. They put me in contact with Kohler after those hours long conversation every time, and I have multiple hours plus long conversations with Kohler on this. Neither of them have any remedy whatsoever for this issue. I have thrown coil packs, filters, spark plugs, oil changes, everything you can think at this machine. I've taken it to mechanics, let mechanics work on it, and no one can make it not do this. No one. When it gets hot, it does this. And I can't saw. I have to cut it off, let it cool down. If you know how to make this engine stop doing this, something I hadn't tried, put it in the comments. I'll be glad to try it. This has been doing this for 7 or 8 years now, and neither Wood Mizer or Kohler have offered any assistance that is of any value whatsoever. Well, I guess that's it for today. This old girl is not going to cooperate. She's had about an hour cool down, started putting this old knotty log on here. She will not do right. You can fight with it, but I've learned from years using this Wood Mizer, you're just doing it for no reason. Let it cool down thoroughly overnight. We made a lot of sawdust today. Got a good stack of boards cut. We got a lot done. This machine will not work right until tomorrow. I got here when it's super cool in the morning, finished that log up, and then I got a whole bunch of cedar logs got to start on. But if that thing gets warm, it gets up 75, 80 degrees like it did today, old Wood Mizer ain't gonna cut wood. Kohler nor Wood Mizer and tell me any different. They can't nobody fix it. So it is what it is. Got to cut when it's cool, and only cut 2 or 3 hours at a time, and then give it a break. I've never got my machine to do any different than that. But we got a good stack of wood here today. We get all this wood cut, and I got to take it up the hill to my wood shop and run it through the planer, get it nice and smooth. Thank y'all for watching. See you next time.